Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this interview. We are here today at the Emergence Investment Conference and I'm very excited to introduce our first guest speaker. So today I'm here with Stephen Greenwood, CEO at Wholesale Holdings. Stephen has been a pioneer in the SME marketplace for over 3 decades with expertise spanning across areas including SME financial structures, AI for SME growth and the future of the global SME economy. Stephen, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
Now, let's kick things off by delving into the concept of employee ownership. So, could you share your insights on employee ownership's social and economic impacts, drawing from your extensive experience in SME, financial, and equity ownership structures?
I think the social impact comes right from day one when you transition a business to employee ownership in the psychological state of the employees, because they become more empowered, they feel respected, they feel like they have status, have respect, and it lifts them up. And the two key elements of employee ownership are that they share in the dividend equally, but they also have a vote. And some people believe that the vote is more important than having the share of the profit. And that is the key to the empowerment and the well-being of the employees in many ways is having the vote.
Absolutely. That's very insightful, Stefan. Now, SMEs play a very crucial role in driving economic growth and innovation. So, from your perspective, what are some key factors highlighting their importance and how can they further leverage their position for growth and sustainability?
They're wonderful assets. You know, they're constantly generating good levels of turnover, good levels of profit. And I think the key to their long-term success is to keep the businesses in the community in which they're already situated. If the business owner is looking to retire and then sells to say a competitor or a consolidator, it would generally mean that the business is absorbed into a bigger group. It may mean that the name would change. It may mean that the location would change. And it may mean that there are job cuts. So the first thing we need to do is to protect the very special and very important GDP and jobs that they have in the region. That's key. What then happens once you transition a business to employee ownership is quite remarkable. You can expect a business to generate 5% more productivity in the first year of transition to employee ownership. You can expect them to sell more because clients see them as more ethical from the outside world. They have a higher margin. They become more cost conscious. There's less absenteeism. So there's this snowball effect of perpetual growth. But it does come from a foundation of already being successful. They just become even more successful when employees become co-owners.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, definitely. Now, as we delve into the fifth industrial revolution and Society 5, can you explain this topic for more of our audience and what opportunities and challenges does this present for SMEs?
Well, Society 5 and the fifth industrial revolution are generally considered two separate things. And in terms of Society 5, which is all about society, as you may have heard in the conversation this morning, the three biggest issues in the world are poverty, inequality, and discrimination. So a big part of Society 5 is to take ownership to employees to counter the poverty, inequality, and discrimination. The Industrial Revolution, the fifth Industrial Revolution, is about combining technology and human together. And in the SME space, they've got a lot of development to do in order for them to become more tech savvy, let's say, in their trading, before you can sort of merge technology into their businesses. We must remember that the majority of the business that will need a succession over the next 10 years, and the ones that we can transition to employee ownership, they've been going for 20 or 30 years. They're mature businesses, they're wonderful businesses. It's very, very important to the communities they're based. But it will take a transition to employee ownership for them to be more technologically relevant for the future of the business. But we have to start somewhere, and we have to start taking them to employee ownership first, and then they'll become more capable of merging robotics and AI into their own business.
I understand. Now, your keynote topic today at Emergence was emerging into the era of abundance, but for who? And that raises very intriguing questions about exchange platforms and equitable distribution. So, can you shed some light on how this abundance can be equitably distributed, especially considering the diverse landscape of SMEs that we have globally?
Well, the good news about transition is it's not restricted to any particular sector. If you have a small to medium-sized business, it's inevitable that the founding owners will need to retire at some point, and then you have an opportunity to transition that business to employee ownership. There are some really innovative financial products which are available through the Valoop exchange that allow the employees to decide how much equity they want for themselves. This is quite unbelievable to hear, probably for the first time, but it's the right thing to do. A managing director of an investment bank that we're working with in London asked the other founder of Valoop, Jim Lowry, what is the ultimate equity ownership structure when you're transitioning a business to employee ownership? And his answer to that was, it's the one they choose for themselves. And how that happens is that the financial products that are used and the quantity of the financial product used to finance the sale and purchase and basically exit the founder are correlated with how much equity goes to the employees. So the employees decide how much equity they want, and the financial products and structure changes to suit that. So they're in full control. We provide agency for the first time. Employees don't generally have advisors pitching their services to them because they can't afford it. They don't generally have advisors pitching for services because the employees don't make any decisions. The founding and controlling shareholders must make the decisions. So for the first time, we've taken the platform to the employees to decide. And they can end up with anything from 10% of the shares to 90% of the shares. And all of that is now, technologically speaking and financial product speaking, possible.
Amazing. Well, that is very insightful, Stephen. Now, before we wrap up our discussion, we are here today at the Emergence Investment Conference. So, can you share any key takeaways from the event, or just if you could highlight your experience so far?
When I took the stage today, I said thank you to Steve Torso, and I said congratulations to you and your team for everything you stand for, and is way beyond being extremely professional and professionally clinical in everything that you do. This is a wonderful event. There's some brilliant people here. You've done an amazing job, you included, and it's an absolute privilege and an honour to be invited as the keynote speaker today. And I can't wait for Singapore, I can't wait for London, and I can't wait to do it all again with you next year.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank
This has
you.
been such a wonderful discussion.
Thank you.
And to our audience members, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in my next interview. Thank you.